Hi everyone, so today I'm going to show you and walk you through how to complete the introduction of your crossover essay. Now, before we get started, a couple things. One, you need to have your brainstorm done. You need this paper. If this paper is not completed, you need to stop, okay, and do this. Your essay is going to be way difficult if we don't have our brainstorm done. So, one, you need your brainstorm completed, okay? Two, on the Google Classroom assignment, you're going to open up two things. You're going to first open up the instructions, and this is a slide that has all of the instructions step by step. So if you need to see it written down, it's there for you. And then you need your actual document that you're going to be typing in. Okay? Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and to make our lives easier, we're going to split screen between these two. So remember, the way that I do that is I just click my tab and I drag it down tight. So now I can make this a little smaller. And this side, I'm going to make smaller, drag it over that side. Cool. So now I have my instructions here and I have my actual essay here. All right, cool. Okay, so if we look at the side right now that has like our actual document, it's the three things that we're going to need to do are we need to have a hook, we need that which introduces our reader to the topic, we need to have our background information, which gives the readers information they need to know before they read your essay. So like what kinds of information do they need in order to just understand what the heck it is that you're talking about. And then our final sentence of our introduction is going to be our thesis statement. That's your claim plus your two supporting reasons, your two supporting details. So that's the sentence that tells your readers what you're going to be talking about in your essay. Now, this sentence you should already have done because you wrote it in your brainstorm. Okay? So your brainstorm, right, should look like this, where you have what our writing type is, our source, our prompt, our graphic organizer, and then we should have our thesis statement. So this is my example thesis statement that I have on my paper. My example thesis statement is the theme of the crossover is love drives you to make sacrifices for those you care about because Josh covers for JB and mom's always taking care of the family. So that's what I'm saying is the theme. So now what I need to do is if I click here on hook sentence, it gives me a breakdown on what a hook is. So a hook should get your reader's attention. Now, some examples of hooks would be a question. Did you know that in the novel The Crossover, da 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 da. Or one of the main conflicts of the novel is blank, or how would you feel if blank? So it should be something that is related to like your theme, like what you're talking about. So if my example theme is about love driving you to make sacrifices, then maybe my topic, my hook, could be something like, how much would you sacrifice for the people you love? How much? So we're going to go ahead and type our hook in. Cool. There's my hook. So I want you to pause the video right now. Pause. And I want you to go complete the hook. Now, your hook should not be the same as my hook. It can be an example of any of these three, but something that's going to grab your reader's attention and want to continue reading your essay. So again, pause, and then come back when you're done with that. Okay, so now you should have your hook completed. Tight. Now we're going to move on to our next chunk of our essay, our paragraph, which is going to be the background information. So if I go here, go to my next part. Okay, so the background information should give readers the information they need to know before reading your essay. So for example, maybe I need to know who the characters are. So if I'm going to be talking about in my brainstorm, right, I mentioned Josh and I mentioned mom. So I probably should tell the people reading my essay who these people are. I want you to pretend that the person reading your essay has never read The Crossover before. What are the things that they need to know about the book in order to follow along with what you're saying? So, some examples of sentence frames that you might use are the novel The Crossover is about blank, the main characters are blank, and the main conflict, remember the conflict is the problem, is blank. So, I'm kind of lazy. So, I'm just going to highlight these sentences and I'm going to copy them. And I'm going to put them here. Cool. The novel The Crossover is about blank. The main characters are blank. The main conflict is blank. Okay. Now, do you need to use these sentence frames? Absolutely not. No, you don't. If you want to do your background information in a different way, tight, you go for it. This is just if you're struggling to get started, you can start filling in those blanks. So tell me, in like a sentence or two, what's the story mostly about? Give me a summary, a real quick summary. Who are our main characters? Maybe tell me a little bit about them. Like who's mom, who's dad, who's Josh, who's JB, maybe what are some things that I need to know about these people. And then the main conflict, remember the conflict is the problem. What's the main problem of the story? Tell me that. Tight. So you're going to go ahead and do that now. You're going to pause this video, pause, and go do that now. Okay, so you should have just finished doing the background information. The last thing that you're going to do is you are going to give me your thesis statement. So now that I've told my reader a little bit about the crossover, a little bit about who the characters are and what the main conflict or the main problem is, now I'm going to hit them with that theme. So this is a sentence that you should just straight be copying from your brainstorm. But if you needed it, here's again, it tells you what you should be writing, right? It's the most important sentence of your essay. Again, your claim plus your two reasons. The theme of the novel is blank because blank and blank. So that's exactly what I have on my copy of my thesis statement. So then I am just going to write that down. So the theme of the crossover. Actually, I'm even lazier than that. I'm just going to highlight this and then fill it in. Cool. So again, the theme sentence, the thesis statement, you should already have done. So I want you to go ahead and pause this video, pause, go do that now. Okay, so you should have just finished writing our thesis statement. So I'm going to go ahead and make this bigger because we're done with the instructions. We don't really need those anymore. The last thing that we're going to do, because it is here, you're going to write your introduction to the section provided below, but now we're going to do these parts. Highlight each section appropriately. Make sure to check your spelling and grammar. So what this means is I want you to go through and I want you to highlight your hook in orange, highlight your background information in that like pinky purple, and then highlight your thesis statement in yellow. This makes it easier. One, it is easier for you to double check to make sure that you have all the pieces that you're supposed to have for your paragraph. And two, if you want me to check a specific part of it, like if you want me to check your background information, it's easier for me to see what part you're talking about. Or if I want to check your thesis statement, it's easier for me to see, okay, this is exactly where their thesis statement is. So please make sure that you do color code them. So I'm going to do that right now. This was my hook. Remember, I go to highlight color up here, and I said my hook was orange. My background information was that like purple pink. And then my thesis statement is yellow. Cool. And then that's it. Oh wait, no, that's not it. I got to make sure I check my spelling and grammar. Now remember, Google is your friend. Okay? It tells you if you spell something wrong. You get that like, okay, it's not doing it right now. But you get that weird red squiggly underneath if you've got a spelling mistake, and then you get a blue squiggly if you have a grammar mistake. Okay, so we're gonna just go through our paragraph, read it aloud to yourself, see if it makes sense. And then once you're done, you're like, yep, no, I think that's good. You can go ahead and turn it in. And then, yep, turn in. Tight. Cool. I'm done with that paragraph now. And that's it. Okay. All right. Bye.